Namaskaram. Shri Ganapatiye Namah. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Welcome to today's samarpanam on Mayilpeeli. Today we shall chant, learn and understand the slokas of Narayaneeyam Dasakam 29. Let us first chant the sloka and then understand the meaning. Dasakam 29 talks about the stealing of the nectar and killing of the asuras. The asuras, who were partners in the churning of the ocean of milk, wanted a part of the nectar. Understanding that it would make them more strong if they had nectar, Lord Vishnu appeared as a pretty damsel Mohini and agreed to serve the nectar to everyone. But he served it only to the Devas. Dasakam 29, Sloka 1. Udgacchatastav karadamrutam haratsu Daiteshu tana sharanananuniya devan Sadyasti rodadita deva bhavat prabhavat Udyat swayuta kalahaditija babuvuhu. In the last sloka of Dasakam 28, we understood that the Supreme Lord Hari rose from the ocean of milk in his form as Dhanvantari, the Supreme Healer, with a pot of nectar in his hands. In this sloka, Bhattadri says, O Lord, just as you were rising up from the ocean in your Dhanvantari form with a pot of nectar, the demons snatched away the nectar from your hands and the gods were rendered helpless. You comforted them and disappeared immediately. O God, through your power of illusion, the Maya, you induced the demons to quarrel among themselves. Dasakam 29, Sloka 2. Shyamambamruchapi vayasapi tanum dadanim Praptosi tunga kucha mandala bhanguram tvam Piyusha kumbha kalaham parimujya sarve Trishna kula pratiyayut Tvadurocha kumbhe. Here Bhattadri says, O Lord, you then took the form of a beautiful young maiden who was a temptress, beautiful by complexion, young by age, whose frame was bent due to the weight of her high heavy breasts. You thus appeared in your beautiful form as a heavenly damsel Mohini. All the asuras abandoned their quarrel about the pot of nectar and thirstily approached you, infatuated by the sight of your pot-like breasts in your avatar as the divine Mohini. Dasakam 29, Sloka 3. Katvam mrigakshi vibhajasva sudhamimamiti Arudaraga vivashana bhiyachatomon Vishwasya te mayi katam kulatasmi daityaha Ityalapannapi suvishwasitanatanihi. In this sloka, Bhattadri says, O Lord, the demons, openly wondering about this dear-eyed beauty, entreated you in that Mohini form to apportion the nectar among them. The asuras said, O doe-eyed lady, who are you? Please distribute this nectar among us. You then teasingly reminded them that you were a harlot, a woman of loose conduct, and wondered how they could trust you. But this flippant reply only boosted their faith in you. Dasakam 29, Sloka 4. Modat sudha kalashameshu dadassu satvam Dushcheshtitam mama sahadvamiti bruvana Pankti prabheda viniveshita deva daitya Leela vilasa gatibhis samada sudham tam. O Lord, the demons joyfully gave the vessel of nectar to you, who was in the form of Mohini. You cautioning them to bear with your whimsical behavior, in the sense you told the asuras that you will distribute the nectar as per your wish only, and made the gods and demons sit in separate rows and began serving the nectar only to the gods. The demons, entranced by your seductive walk and movements, sat quietly spellbound by your charming and sportive gait, is what we understand in this shloka. Dasakam 29, Sloka 5. Asmasviyam pranayinitya sureshu teshu josham stiteshvata samapya sudam sureshu tvam bhakta loka vashago nijarupametya Swarbhanumarda paripita sudam vyalavihi. O Lord, when the asuras were wrongfully contemplating that you as Mohini were fond of them and so were waiting silently and patiently for their turn to get the nectar, but you finished the nectar among the devas as you always favor your devotees. Then you took your own form and beheaded the asura Rahu, known as Swarbhanu, who had drunk half of the nectar served to him, which he cunningly got by sitting in the row of the devas, is what Bhattadri says in this shloka. Rahu sees that nectar is being distributed among the devas and very slyly slips in between the row of the devas dressed as devas and thus gets the nectar and drinks half of it. The Supreme Lord, who knows everything, knew that Rahu cunningly got the nectar. He beheaded Rahu. Then, on pleading a lot for forgiveness, he gets a serpent's head, and his chopped off head gets a serpent's body, which is called Ketu. This is the Rahu and Ketu who we see as part of the Navagrahas. Dasakam 29, Sloka 6. Tvatah sudhaharana yogya phalam pareshu Dattva gate tvayi surai kalute vyagrihnan Goreta murchatirane balidaitya maya Vyamohite suragane tvamiha virasihi. Here Bhattadri says, O Lord, after punishing the demons thus for snatching the pot of nectar from you, you disappeared. Then a pitched battle took place between the demons and the gods, which becomes terrible and intense. At the height of this terrible war, the hosts of gods were rendered unconscious by the delusive tactics and magical antics of the demon Bali. So you manifested yourself again in front of them. Dasakam 29, Sloka 7. Tvam kalanemi matamali mukhan jaganta Shakro jagana balijam bavalan sapakhan Shushkrada dushkaravadena muchau chalune Fenena narada giranyaruno ranam tvam. In this sloka, Bhattadri says, O Lord, in the battle you killed Kalanemi, Mali and other asuras. The Lord of the Devas, Indra, killed Bali, Jambavan, Vali along with Bakasura. Namuchi, who could not be killed by either dry or wet weapons, was cut off by a weapon made of foam from the sea. You then stopped the battle on the request made by sage Narada. Dasakam 29, Sloka 8. Yosha vapurdhanuja mohana mahitam te Shrutva vilokana kutuhalavan maheshaha Bhutai samam girijaya jagatah padam te Stutva bravida bimatam tvamato tirodaha. O Lord Shiva, who heard of your female form Mohini, which you took to delude the asuras, became eager to see this beautiful tempting form of yours as Mohini. He therefore went to your abode along with Uma and a host of his attendants, the Bhutaganas. He besieged you with hymns and praises and expressed his desire to see you as Mohini. As soon as you heard this, you immediately disappeared, is what Bhattadri is saying in this shloka. Dasakam 29, sloka 9. Aramasi manicha kanduka ghata leela Lolayamana nayanam kamanim manognyam Tvamesha vikshya vegalatvasanam manobho Vegadanangari puranga samalilinga. O Lord, in the far portion of the garden in Vaikunta, Shiva saw you in the form of a most beautiful damsel, whose eyes roamed about as she played with a ball. Her robes were slipping down in the course of the movements. The conqueror of Kamadeva, the enemy of Cupid, Shiva, was so overcome by desire that he embraced you, who had come to the garden in your ever so beautiful Mohini form, is what Bhattadri says in this shloka. Dasakam 29, sloka 10. Bhuyopi vidrutavati mupadhavya devo virya pramoksha vikasat paramartha bodha Tvanmanitastava mahatvamuvacha devyai tattadrushastvamavavata niketanata. O Lord, when Mohini freed herself from Lord Shiva's grasp and ran, he pursued her again. On the discharge of his virile fluid, the truth dawned on him, and he came to his senses and obtained the knowledge of pure self. He who was revered by you sang your praises and extolled your glory to Uma and others who had accompanied him to your abode. Here Bhattadri prays, O Guru Ayyappa, may you, who is so glorious, save me. It is believed that Lord Ayyappa was born out of the embrace of Shiva and the Supreme Lord Mohini's form, when in the act of chasing Mohini, the seed of Shiva is discharged. Hare Krishna. Govinda Nama Sankirtanam. Govinda Govinda. Narayana Akila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Shri Haraye Namah. Shri Mahaperiyava Sharanam.